Hello. Okay, I wanted to jump on. I've been thinking about, okay, what can I talk about? And I decided to talk about suffering a little bit. We all suffer, and suffering isn't a bad thing. It's natural. I mean, that's part of life. There is suffering in life. So I just wanted to quick touch on how we can make it a little easier. And again, it's a practice. I am currently going through a small time in my life where I'm suffering, but I'm going through some of the teachings that I've learned and trying to implement them. And again, it's easier said than done, but to even be aware of them is a gift, and to be able to try and practice and give some attention to that, I think is wonderful and very helpful. So this is a quote that I found from one of my teachers. She talks about the natural lifespan of an emotion. So if you're feeling rage or anger or any of those emotions, the lifespan of that emotion for the time it takes for it to make through the nervous system and the body is 90 seconds. So that's how long it takes to go through the whole nervous system, through the whole body, 90 seconds. And after that 90 seconds, we need thoughts to keep the emotion going. So when we lock into one of those feelings like anxiety, depression, rage, whatever you're feeling, you don't need to look further than your thoughts, because that's what's happening. Your inner dialogue is keeping that going. That's when we lock into those emotions. That's just from our inner dialogue, just from our thoughts. We felt the emotion, and then we keep it alive with our thoughts. A quote that I love is, there's nothing good or bad, only thinking makes it so. And it's true. The thinking is what makes it so. So they say suffering is equal to pain times resistance. So you feel the pain, but you're trying to resist it. You want it to be different. That's where the suffering comes in. So to be able to feel the pain, whatever's happening in your life, whatever situation you're in where you're feeling that not so great sensation, to be able to stop and just sit with it for a moment and know that that's okay, and just be with it. Just that power of allowing that emotion, allowing those feelings to come in instead of resisting them, brings it down a little bit. So to just be able to sit with it for a few moments. Maybe you have something going on now. Maybe focus on it for just a moment, and maybe we'll take 2 or 3 deep breaths together. So if you have something, kind of allow it in. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And just allow it. Notice it. You're not judging it. And exhaling, releasing your shoulders a little bit. Another deep breath in. Again, we're not resisting the emotion or the feeling. And then relax your shoulders as you exhale. And we'll do one more. A nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go a little bit more. And just that act of the deep breathing and the long exhale, it signals your body, okay, we're calming down, we're bringing things down a little bit. So let me know, make a little note, did that help? Just those 3 deep breaths, if you did it with me, did you notice any difference? Doesn't solve the problem, doesn't take everything away, but it can bring you down. And to be able to notice those thoughts that are coming in. There's a parable that I learned about. It's called the second arrow. So something negative happens. It's the first arrow is shot into you. Something negative happens. That's the first wound. It's the first arrow hits you. Now, that's not optional. That's come and there's a negative thing in your life. The second arrow that they speak about is self-inflicted. It's the thoughts, the attention that we give it, and the stirring it up. That's the second arrow. And I can tell you, I've been in my life in general pretty big on the second arrow. I like to twist it, pour some salt in it, examine it, be with it. And that's not necessary. I mean, think of all the time we waste. So think of something maybe in your life that's going on where you've got an arrow, something's happened that isn't pleasant. Did you resist it? I can't believe this happened. this should have been different. They should have done that. I should have done this. This shouldn't have happened. This isn't fair. That's the resisting. That's the second arrow. What if you stop and you just, identify the first arrow? Okay, this unfortunate thing happened. This is where we're at now. I have a friend that I went through meditation school with, and he gave me one of my favorite quotes. He would say, okay, it's like this now. And it was kind of life-changing for me, because things will happen. I'll say, okay, it's like this now. Is it the way I want it to be? No, but it is like this now. Can I do things to change it? Sure. I can do things, work around, find ways to make myself feel better, make different decisions in the future. But this is the reality that we have now. We're not judging it. We're not putting blame. We're just sitting with it for a moment. And when you sit with these emotions and you sit with these feelings, they do tend to lose their power. So that's what I've got tonight. And I'm going to actually be spending time tonight, maybe meditating, thinking about things, and trying to put into practice what I'm preaching here. I've got some arrows that I've been hit with, and I am, I've always, not always, but for a long time, I was very big on being a victim. Things were always happening to me, and it's so unfair, and why would this happen? And I learned that, this is the way it is, and I'm in charge of my life. And I don't blame anyone for anything. If something negative happens, well, okay, it's like this now. What can I do to change it and be better in the future? And that's been really helpful for me. So, I don't know, think on it. If you want to leave a note and tell me, I don't know, is there an arrow that you've self-inflicted yourself with this second arrow, and how you plan to change your thoughts on that and what you can do to better yourself? I recently saw a quote, and it kind of floored me. It said, people love to say that they're self-made when they're rich and they're successful and they're healthy and they're doing great. But the truth is, this quote said, that everyone is self-made. Where you are is because of what you've done, the choices that you've made. Now, for some people that are out there saying, I'm self-made, and that's great, they're proud of themselves, but we're all self-made. So, I'm going to take a look and see of what I've made here. And some things are great, some things are not so great. I'd like to change things, but right now I'm not thrilled with what I've created. And again, we all have flaws, we all have things that we need to work on, but to be able to see them realistically and to do something about it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making some uncomfortable decisions, and I'm scared, and I'm going to be definitely uncomfortable, but I'm looking forward to it because, again, we're self-made, and I'm going to make some different decisions. Am I going to beat myself up about it? Probably a little bit, but I'm also going to take my own advice and try to, let those things go and know that it's like this now. So where in your life is it like this now? Can you just let some things go? I hope you're all well, and I hope you all have a great evening, and thanks for watching.